Hi, y'all. Welcome to Reality with T. I wanted to talk a little bit about, some things surrounding pregnancy, being a new mom, some labor stuff. So send me your questions. I was gonna do this on Saturday night, but I figured everybody might have been out and occupied, and I was kind of occupied. So I said, all right, maybe Sunday night I can get some viewers here. But just send in your questions. You can also send them anonymously, and I'll try to answer what I can. I have a lot of friends who are pregnant right now. They've been asking me random questions, so I just thought I would do a couple of lives. They'll be quick and painless, and so I can just talk a little bit about what to expect. And I think people ask for my opinion because I've been pretty honest about it, even though I love being a mom and I think I'm doing a good job at it. There are things that I didn't expect that came along the way. And so I think that people should be aware of it. There are a lot of, when you go to the birth classes and this, that, they talk about discomfort and they talk about, all these little nice words to hide the facts that some of these things hurt like hell. So I think people ask me for my opinion because I tell you the real, and I think you should know what to expect. So first I wanted to talk about I'll talk a little bit about the pregnancy, and I'll probably do that more in another video. But I have some friends who are nearing the ending of their pregnancy, so you're probably starting to feel like you can't move well. I know I didn't get sleep. I didn't get sleep like probably through most of the third trimester for both of my pregnancies. So I have two kids, and one is almost 5, and the other one is almost 1 year old. So I don't sleep well anyway, but like those last few months were like horrible because you can't get comfortable. In the end, you could hardly breathe because there's no room between the baby sitting on your lungs and all your internal organs. So I felt like I couldn't breathe the whole last couple months of the pregnancy. And I was just telling one of my friends that that your belly is dropping when you start to be able to breathe better. I remember the first time I woke up like I can breathe. What happened? And then that's when I knew that you're getting close, right? So I also would get toward the end, I would get this little pain like in between, like in my groin area, that little fold in between your pelvis and your leg. And sometimes it would just shoot and I would just be stuck. You know what I mean? Like it was a pain that was like, all right, stop walking. You have to tend to me for a moment. From what I understand, that's the baby kind of sitting on your nerve right there. So that's something to think about. But yeah, you got to take your time. Don't push yourself. Walk slow. I used to walk so slow. I used to be on the train steps, like, all right, just walk past me because I can't breathe and I'm not going to wind myself because then you could really pass out. So you have to really take care of yourself. But tonight I'm going to talk about the two B's. So the first B is birth plan and the second B is breastfeeding. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the birth plan is because they give us this birth plan, right? But in reality, you're what's going to happen in that labor and delivery room is what's going to happen. They're going to do whatever they need to do, and you're going to want them to do whatever they need to do to make sure that you and that baby make it out alive, healthy, and safe, right? So they can tell you to make a birth plan. And I mean, that's nice because I guess it's there to kind of thwart some of your anxiety about what might happen. You know what I mean? You can kind of start you can kind of pick certain things to make yourself more comfortable. Hi, Lex. Make yourself more comfortable. Hi, Tim. And but in reality, they're going to do what they have to do to get that baby out safely. So the reason why I tell my friends, like, okay, you make a birth plan, but don't be so stuck to it, because in reality, and a lot of people, recently, a lot of people have been having a lot of emergency C-sections, emergency inductions and things like that. So you can have a birth plan all you want, but when it comes down to the health of your baby, you're going to have to go with whatever. And I tell people, listen, this is not the Huxtables. We're not able to say, oh, I get to call and page my doctor at 2 a.m. and then they'll show up to the hospital with me. Now things are different. You know what I mean? Insurances are different. Doctors will be like, no, I deliver on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And on the other days, you'll get somebody else from my practice. Here, you can look at a picture of these folks, but I won't be there. Or, the doctor might be on vacation, whatever it is. So to me, and I know I'm different from a lot of women, to me, I don't have an emotional connection to anybody in the medical field. To me, I want somebody who knows what they're doing, and I want somebody who knows what they're doing to get me out of that room safely. You know what I mean? Because I'm blessed to be a pretty healthy person. So I've never been taken to the ER, hospital, anything like that. So I just want somebody who knows what the hell they're doing when I get over there. Granted, I like my doctor. I love her. I would love for her to deliver me, right? And the first time it just happened that I got there on like a Sunday night, and she comes in on Mondays, like at 12 a.m. So she was able to deliver me, and that was nice. But then I also realized the nurses spent more time with me. The doctor would come in and out, and then she did like the last 10, 15 minutes of like the big delivery. But all that time up until then, you're with the nurses. And if you stay over the shift, you're with the next nurse. You know what I mean? So just don't be so connected to the birth plan, and I have to have my doctor deliver me, because the reality is you want to get out of this safely, and you want somebody who knows what they're doing. So that's that. So I have a birth plan in front of me, and I just wanted to go over, okay, if my computer will turn back on, some of the things that they say you can choose, some of the things you may or may not care about. And actually, I'm going to have to plug in my computer. So while I do that, I'll talk about the other B, which is breastfeeding. And here are my thoughts on breastfeeding. Okay, so I breastfed the first baby for 9.5 months, and then the second baby for 10.5 months. And I just stopped feeding her. That was about a month ago, breastfeeding her, because she grew teeth and she would chomp on me. And so at first she thought it was funny. So I said in my head, well, let me react a little bit. I said, let me have like a little when she would bite me, and it really hurt. But I thought that maybe it would like make her stop, but in reality it kind of scared her. So every time she came toward my nipple, she would like, and then I would I would flinch because I was afraid she was going to bite the hell out of me. So then she ended up like within one day just not nursing anymore. And then I felt really bad about it. I was like, oh my God, I didn't mean for it to happen this quickly, because with the first one, I stopped breastfeeding because I ended up going back to work. I had to pump a lot, and I ended up only feeding her at night. And then eventually, I think I went away when she was about 9.5 months for 2 or 3 days. I left her with my mom. And then when I came back, it was all dried up, and she had been drinking the bottle, so she wasn't interested anymore. So it just kind of happened gradually. So this one, I was kind of caught off guard, because I was like, oh my God, she doesn't want me anymore so quickly. I thought it would be gradual, that I would still be feeding her at night and stuff. And it made it easier because it was easier to calm her. And also there was some selfishness there. I don't know. I just kind of felt like, well, I'm the only person who can calm her. She needs me and only me for this. I'm the only person in the world who can do this for her. And then for it to end so abruptly, it kind of hurt my feelings, but I guess that's life. So now she's on the bottle. So when I'm doing these videos, I don't want anybody to think that I am judging you on any choice that you make. Honestly, the accomplishment is feeding the baby, okay? There's no right or wrong. You do what you can. But to some people, I feel like they push breastfeeding on us so much that you feel bad if there's, people have health reasons why they can't breastfeed. People have psychological reasons why they give up on breastfeeding. They push it so much, it makes you feel bad if you can't or don't want to. Yeah, I have letters behind me. We got all type of schools going on here. But the reality is it's not easy. It's hard as hell. So you make the best choice that you're going to make for yourself. Okay. So I wasn't breastfed. I was breastfed. I think my mother breastfed me for like 2 weeks, and then she gave up, and I was on formula. So, and I'm very healthy. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really mean anything long term. They make this whole thing like breast milk is liquid gold and the whole thing. And it is probably really good for the child during that time. It boosts their immune system. But afterwards, when, first of all, you start feeding them solids around 5 months, 5 or 6 months, whatever it is. By that time, I feel like they're getting their nutrients elsewhere. So I've never wanted to breastfeed past 1 year old. So, I made it close enough, and I didn't beat myself up about it. But sometimes breastfeeding is so hard that you grow to resent the act, and some people grow to resent their baby, from what I understand. Like, you don't even want to be around your baby, because why do you want to be around something that is causing you pain? And that's really what is happening in the beginning for a lot of people. Now, everybody's experience is different, obviously, right? But for me, and I can just talk about myself, my whole thing was to try to do it as best I can, right? And then I also said I wasn't going to beat myself up on it, up about it if I couldn't. I didn't know, nobody told me that it was going to hurt like hell. I mean, it hurt like hell. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like, I was in a lot of pain. And I was in a lot of pain the first time for about 4 or 5 weeks. I ended up going to a breastfeeding support group. Um, your nipples are not used to anybody sucking on them for in order to stay alive. So your nipples are getting chafed. Is that how you say the word chafed? They're getting dry, they're sore, they might bleed. I mean, it's not pretty. It's not fun, especially in the beginning. And then the babies have to suck on you at least every hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, or you might have to pump. Now, my friend says she liked pumping better than actually latching the child on. I would rather latch. I hated pumping because both of them hurt. The second one, because I guess my nipples, had grown harder, whatever they did, it wasn't that hard. I mean, they didn't hurt for as long. But either way, it was a lot of pain. Some people cry in the beginning because it's not a pain that you recover from. It hurts, but as soon as you feel a little bit better, the baby needs to eat again. So it's a constant pain that doesn't go away for a while. One thing you can do is you can ice your nipples. And then you can also put heat on them to make your milk come down. A friend of mine was concerned that because her mother wasn't with her, she didn't produce enough milk that she wouldn't be able to. I think that back then, 35, 40 years ago, they weren't pushing breastfeeding on women as much as they do now, especially Black women. They were pushing us toward formula. And I think it was also a stigma back then that you couldn't afford formula. That's why you would breastfeed. So a lot of Black women moved towards formula. But now they have a lot of different ways and tricks to increase your milk supply. When your milk supply goes low, you're just going to remember supply and demand. You're just going to drink a lot of water. And I would be able to do this within a day or two. I would see an increase in my supply. Drink a lot of water and pump more, because the more you pump, the more it's telling your body that you need to produce more for the baby. Try to pull up my birth plan here. So let's see, what else did I do? They also give you lanolin, a nipple cream. I actually found another nipple cream. It was random. It was in Burlington Coat Factory, and I thought it was better than the lanolin that they gave me. And I'll try to show you guys in the next one, so you guys can get the brand. And that was I really like that one a lot better. But again, if you can't, or you feel, if you want a formula feed, listen, your baby is getting fed. There's nothing wrong with formula fed babies. There's this hierarchy and this judgment that comes between, nursing moms and non-nursing moms. And it's a lot. It's a lot. When you start going back to work and you're pumping and you have to wash the pump parts at work, and do you have a place, and, all this kind of stuff, it just becomes a lot. You know what I mean? So it's not for the week, honestly. So, if you want to do it, I'll support anybody who wants to breastfeed. Do the best you can, but I'll also support you if you have to formula feed or if you want to formula feed. It is what it is. Let's see. Now the birth plan. Let's see if I can get my computer to turn on, or if I can get anybody to listen to me ramble on. Let's see. If not, it's okay. I'll see if I can repost it so y'all can hear what I'm talking about at your convenience. Of course, my computer would randomly just not work right now. But I guess it's okay because nobody's here. Oh, here are the kids. Yes. Huh? All right, but you just ate less than an hour ago. Okay, so lay down and I'm sure you'll be able to fall asleep, okay? All right, I'll be there in a minute. Oh, these kids come up with everything. Her tummy is rumbling. And she's hungry. And she just ate. Child. Let's see. All right, I'm going to have to come back for the birth plan because I wanted to go through all the options one by one. But my computer all of a sudden decided to shut down. So either way, send me your questions. You can send them anonymously and I'll try to address them as best I can. And have a good night. Bye-bye.